All right, good morning. So, tying into T-test, maybe a goal that you would like to set for yourself is in having individualized interventions for your students. So, I know that RTI has changed a little, but the end goal is the same thing. We're going to help the student. We need to reach out and check, make sure that every student is getting the help that they need. So your case is a little different from the other grades because I did not get any folders for kindergarten. So we're going to go through the RTI process. So there's two forms. There's the RTI online form and there's the data collection form. So when would you do this? Okay, if you start seeing a student that is not making any progress, you have met with them in small group, that you've done RTI level 1, which is whole group instruction, and there's been times where when you do work in small group, they are just not getting it. They come, report card comes, it's they have a lot of N's. They're not meeting their goals. They're not meeting their goals in their benchmarks and happy numbers. And so what do? We start the RTI online collection form and the online form. So you will get that from me. And let me show you what it looks like. Well, it looks like this, but I want to show you the big one. So, you will contact me. We can meet. We can talk about the student and say, well, I see this and this. I share this with you, and we start collecting the data. Everything this year has to be done electronically. Other years, we could print this out, and when you're working in small group, you can just write down your notes. This year, they want everything electronically. You can still print it out, and then if you want to go back later on and input it at the end of the week or however you want to do that, that is fine. But as far as sharing it with me, it has to be electronically. So we want the student name. If it's the very first time I just shared the form with you, our tier right here is called watch. We're not doing tier 1 anymore. So right here we would put watch. Then you would tell me kindergarten, your name, the subject. This line right here, that's just an example. A lot of people are getting confused and saying, oh my God, I need to put exactly what it says here.
DRA testing until after in January, right? Or kindergarten? Or maybe.
Sorry.
Well, they should say that. DRA.
The DRA, is it?
Middle or
Middle is not required for everyone. We'll do some spot checks, but the next required one is in the year.
Those spot checks are the ones that are not doing good, or the spot checks is for everybody?
Just like I'll come in and do maybe 2 or 3 per class just to see if they're where the teacher thinks they're.
Okay.
Just to kind of make sure we're all kind of on the same
They
level.
do Texkia though? Is it Texkia? Yeah, you can use that.
Yes, we can use that too.
Yes.
So this right here in yellow, that's just a sample. That's not, you don't have to use that. You tell me what you're working on. You tell me what it's reading. If you're working on letters, the certain letters that they're not getting. Then we come together and we will have a meeting and we will fill this out. So we're going to need their latest DRA. So even if you haven't done the DRA, we need to do a DRA before the meeting. So it'll be either beginning, middle, or end. If they are in dual, we would need both, just so we have both of the DR information. We would need grades. That includes kinder. If it's an N, I had to learn all that. I did not know that about kinder. That I was like, what is this? ENF? So we would still need those grades on here, okay? Let's see. Then here, we would check out what is it that the student is having a hard time with. And then on each section, if we want to do reading, writing, math, spelling, we must have work samples of the student. So this form I would print and I would give to you in advance. You will have it, and then you check off the things that you see that your student is struggling with. And then you would also, when we get together, I will check with you before the care team meeting to make sure you have work samples, to make sure we have the DRAs, and we'll talk a little bit, and then we will have the official care team.
What about speech? I know that kinder, a lot of times, they may not see the academic as often as maybe, but speech sometimes is
We would still fill out the same form.
the same form.
Mm-hmm. We would still fill out the same form, but yes, we can also do,
But you need to go through the RTI process for speech as well.
yes, speech and math, reading, and behavior. And this form is also going to be for behavior, and I'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. So in our RTI meeting, this is what we're going to discuss. What is the area of concern? And I want to show you this, and I can print this out for you. I would be filling this out, but these are the questions these are the things that we're going to talk about, in the meeting. What are the skills that need to be addressed? What are the strengths? What interventions have you done? Progress monitoring. Have you done any progress monitoring? Do class, district, or state assessments show the student performance? Yes or no? Have we tried incentives? How has the student responded to them? What is their learning style? List any additional information that might be important. Maybe, attendance is one, tardiness, behavior. State the concerns. And what resources have you used, and for how long, and basically this is the entire care team meeting. Okay. All right, so tier 1, which is whole group, okay, that's your regular day. When they become tier 2 is when we start looking and tracking the time and the minutes. So tier 2 is 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. Tier 3, they would get 4 times a week by the interventionist, 30 to 45 minutes in a small group, plus they still will receive the tier 2. So that's something important. So just because they become tier 3 doesn't mean that we drop the interventions in small groups.
So when would they have time to do? Because I know like they're being pulled out.
This would be
tier.
bear time.
Right.
This would be their normal reading time, math time. So this is a separate time. And it has to equal these sessions. So 24 sessions for tier 2, 40 sessions for tier 3. So at the end, when we come to care team meeting, this is what the goals that we're looking for. We're looking for not only those days, but also those sessions. So if there are days that, we'll pull out Monday through Thursday, but we don't have a Monday, I need to make sure that I pull them Tuesday through Friday, because I need to make sure that I have those sessions. Okay. All right, so something that's very important is please make sure that their grades match their performance. So we need independent work for reading and math. If we're doing RTI for behavior, same thing. Please don't send home E's when we're trying to create a behavior plan for the student, because then in care team meeting, you know, that data is not going to match. So it also includes the behavior.
And when if it gets to the point of a special ed referral, they won't qualify.
They won't qualify.
Rock in and make an honor roll and save it for struggling. I mean, if it happens.
So this slide here, it's not blue. I don't know if you noticed that. And it's green because this one came from the district. They're like, please make sure. So I just copied the whole thing. So, because I didn't want to reword it or say it wrong. Something that the district really wants to emphasize this year is to be careful on the interventions. Please be careful. They're saying if you get something from teacher pay teachers, just because it's cute or it's like it has everything, it might not be TEKS based. So please make sure that it matches the skill that you're trying to work with the student. Okay? Apparently, you know, at care team meetings, you know, they'll come with, you know, with a lot of work samples, but it's not what the TEK that we want, that we're working on with the student. So please make sure it matches before you say, okay, I want to purchase this, you know, this is really good. Please make sure it's TEK based. Okay, I don't have any dyslexia screener students here yet, but I can share with you. So last year in kinder and first, they did the dyslexia screener students. So now this year they're automatically in tier 2, and they're going to receive an 8-week intervention program. They're considered tier 2, but they're not considered tier 2, but the teacher does not have to do interventions, extra interventions in the classroom. They're going to go through the 8-week program, and then we're going to see, okay, are they okay? Are they going to be removed? If they're not going to remove, they did not meet their targets, then yes, we will start the tiers, you know, with them.
So these kids go to you, or they do tier 2?
They're going to come to me.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, that's why I was looking for a Spanish one, because I have both
Right.
the English and Spanish. Yeah. Okay, if we have an RTI watch, tier 2, tier 3, even if it's just a watch, we have to sit down, you and me, and we have to develop a plan, because we can't just say, okay, this is the chart, the behavior chart for everybody in the school. Each class is different, each grade level is different, each age is different. So we can come up with, do we want a chart? Do we want a chart where the student is coloring in and, you know, E is so many blocks, S is, you know, more blocks, N is 2 blocks, you know, and something that's visual that they can see? Do we want something that's dojo where it's a report, everything's in there? What kind of progress monitoring form do we want for that student? So if you tell me I have a watch for behavior, we need to sit down and develop something. Okay? And if it's something that y'all want to do as a grade level, like it's going to be the same, we can do that as well. All right, so watch students, we start collecting student work, your notes, and we start the monitoring form. All right, so I talked about resources. So there's a couple of resources that I want to share with you. I purchased the A to Z, and you're more than welcome to use my username and password. We're going to go over Easy CBM for fluency, tracking fluency for math, and tracking fluency as far as letter sounds. It's free, and it's really, really, really good. And I'll share this PowerPoint with you so you can have my username. I don't think A to Z tracks, so I don't know. I'm gonna share it until I get an email saying, oh. So, okay, make sure bingo is capitalized.
On the Easy CBM tracking fluency,
Mhm.
Kinder, would that be like sight words,
It starts with letters.
letters?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna show you. It's really, really, well, I think it's really good. So, if you go to Easy CBM, and we can do this in just a second, you sign in and it's free. So, you go up here where it says, when you do it, you put the students that you want to track, and you go to measures. So, see here, it starts with Kinder. So here in Kinder, we have letter names, letter sounds, phoneme segmenting, word reading fluency, and then it goes to numbers. So let's start with reading with letter
Do
names.
you have to enter your kids' names?
Yes, you have to.
First? Okay.
You have to create a list of the students that you want to track, and then right here it says student copy. This is the copy that you will have to print out, and then this one, they will say the letters. This one over here is your copy, okay? And here's where you do the tracking. It gives you the directions, and then you put how many they got correct. Then here, once you have your students' names, you enter the scores here. So let's say he stopped on this one, the M was the last letter. Oh no, this one was incorrect. Z was incorrect, lowercase e, and they stopped at U. Okay, so then you would save this, you would click save, and it would go straight to the student that you have. First, when you create the list, it'll show up per student. This will come out as a report. It's not going to show it.
So this is progress monitoring.
Yes. So this is and this is not something you have to do. This is something if you want to track your
Can
students.
we use it for report cards?
I don't know. Can they use it for report? We found that
I
and
think the data would be helpful too for like a future special ed referral, and they would have that data. It would help, your case on the student if you felt like it was really struggling.
I would shut my classroom down to report card test.
I think it would make it easy. It would make it easier for you
Yeah,
to
I like the
access.
data and the info, so we could use it for report cards. So I'm thinking,
It's more information.
yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
okay.
To show parents.
You could do this weekly. You could do this bi-weekly. I mean, it's up to you. Whenever you input it, that's the date it records, and then it'll start monitoring their progress.
It's really good to show parents, when you have problems with parents, to be able to have a visual for them to see.
And that's what we liked about, what was it, CLI? No.
ESGI.
Yeah, ESGI. So that's a great tool, yeah,
And it's free.
yeah.
So, that's, okay, so that's, Easy CBM. We also have, on Easy CBM, you have math. Excuse me. So, you have to be careful with the math, because if it's not what you are doing, you know, then it's, some are like on geometry.
Maybe just facts might be,
Yeah, but
Pretty
on
good.
some of them, like in the older, like in the higher grades, it's not just facts. So you gotta be careful, you know, when you are assessing and using the math portion, okay? But they have it for math, and again, you can, let's say you have a student that is, you know, is high, so, and you want some tracking on them because they already mastered letter sounds, letter sounds, vowels. You can go to first grade. You can start tracking there. I mean, if they're already at a higher level, why, you know, and you want to go up, you can do that as well. And then on here, I'm going to also share this with you. We have great resources that the RTI team has compiled that you may use. So here's some posters. This one here, it has you know, little your suggestions on what can you be working on, what is it, you know, what does it look like. So if you get stuck and it's like, well, I don't, you know, yes, I know I'm supposed to be working with this student on in level B, you know, well, what can I use? It'll tell you here, what can you use? You don't do fluency passages. Here are more lessons for tier 2. This is a great resource. And here, over here on this side, you have phonics, fluency, vocabulary. So in here, it'll tell you tier 2, tier 3 interventions. It'll give you the lesson guide. And it'll have your whole lesson there, and you just look to see which one you would like to use. So I'm going to share this with you right now, and you can play with it. You can, you know, log on. I have temporarily, I have a color printer that it's, and I say temporarily because I know it, like when I print, it shakes and everything, but I want to use up the colored ink because it's on its last leg. If you want, I can print posters. I can, you know, it's something in color that you want for your classroom. I'll be more than happy to print it for you. Okay.
some of the intervention lessons I think are good for all kids, you know, and then the ones that you're having to actually document on, you document on them. But
Mm-hmm.
the ones, they're good lessons.
It's really, I mean, they really took their time to go through some resources, and, you know, they have. So I'm going to share this with you right now. While I'm sharing this, Ms. Brandt has some information on the boards that you might want to read. And she has some material here. And so you can move around while I start sharing with you.
I have a question. I know you're